is the Mobile Industry Review.
So we go from -40, which is sort of Arctic, up to about 80 degrees.
They're smoking. The handsets are actually smoking.
You're beyond what is humanly comfortable to make sure that it's still full in there for it. Depends on the type of testing we're running, but that's running at -40. Would you like to have a look in this one?
Stand well back.
I have to promise you that this was not set up. We're actually doing key press to make sure that the phone's at minus. Well, you can see that immediately the condensation and the frost build up.
Bang. When we get the module in, we get a little module. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Erector set. You can say, okay, what do we do now? Because it's pretty versatile what you get from your age. Yeah, absolutely. You can really machine a bunch of new parts. This is all in-house. We buy in things like cylinders, so the fingers I gave you away we buy in, but everything else basically is designed in-house. Yeah. So if you're gaming, you're doing that constantly, yeah?
If you have a fidget phone, it's
yeah, absolutely. If you sit on your phone, because your bum's not flat,
and the surface that you usually sit on will be soft, yeah, what tends to happen is your phone bends. Yeah? So, what we did is we had a look at these and made sure that the force that we put on here is equivalent to about 15 stone man sitting on a phone on a compliance you know, basically you put it in your back pocket, you forget about it, put it on your sofa, you sit on it, it bends. The last thing you want is for the camera connections to come off, all the bits on the PCB. Obviously if you bend the PCB you'll get icy peeling off everywhere. You know, we make sure that we don't do that. And I mean, bearing in mind that the stuff that we put in our phones, if I said take a device with a microprocessor, memory storage, a display, a keyboard, and then bend it as if you sat on it. So, ever sat on your laptop? Yeah, this is Drop. Drop tower itself has a suction sat on it. So basically what happens is we attach the phone in the aspect that we want to test. Yeah. The carriage will then rise to its drop height and drop. And when the carriage touches the spring at the bottom, the suction goes off. So we control the drop from the very start to the very end. And what we can do then is guarantee that if I want to drop it on this face, yeah, I can drop it on this face absolutely every time. Yeah.
Wow.
So, life in my own hands here.
Are you going to do one? Oh,
Yeah. Sorry, Ray.
is that Ray's phone?
No, this is a new 79 that we're testing.
Just out of the box.
Yeah. This is doing faces. So I'm just going to drop it on the bottom face, which is the first one we do. So just set it up.
And it goes down at regular gravity speed, or do you guys set the speed going down?
The speed looks horrendous, yeah, but it is free fall. Yeah. Okay, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll begin, as we say.
Amazing how the battery drops out every time.
Not every time. But then,
That's part of the stress design.
at the end of the day, if you drop your phone, your battery falls out, the back cover falls out. Yeah. Put the battery back in, the back cover back on, and it switches on. You're still a happy bunny, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. And here we're very much kind of more of a random environment. So we do both for different scenarios, different use cases.
The drop, you've got to remember, the drop is very repeatable. Yeah? Every time we drop it on the face, or an edge, a particular angle, we do that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, as he drops his foot, yeah, we'll go that way, this way. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is get a random aspect. It's a pseudo-random because obviously there's a centre of gravity. There are two faces with the phone's likely the same to sit on. But at the end of the day, it drops the speed. This is a solar radiation system. Yeah, it's hot. It's incredibly light intensive in there. It's got a light source. You can see this is actually very black in glass. You can still see the covers that we're testing in there. This is really hot, very wet environments, lots of light source, and this will do day and night, diurnal, nocturnal, as will that one.
Oh, that's cool.
As I said, we develop a lot of tests, and this looks a little Heath Robinson, I know, guys, but this is because we have to develop tests to do things. And it's not.
I think it's one of the guys that said, well, we don't have to spend a lot of money on a patch piece of test kit for this. We can come up with something a bit more practical. So they went down to B&Q and bought a load of bits, and this is what you see in front of you.
The guys can make some adjustments to it, not to make it waterproof, but just to improve it in general. So.
This is basically looking at corrosion through harsh environments. Put it into more commonly used context. In the winter, salt the roads, still need your phone to work, and you need it to work not just after the first winter, but after the second, the third, and so on. Cheapest piece of kit we've got in the lab is probably, a fairly expensive one. So what we do is we inject into here a high salt solution, and we atomise that, and then we.
This is kind of a seaside test as well.
Yes, absolutely, but it goes far above and beyond what you would normally see at the seaside. We take these media, we drop phones into them, and then we let them sit there for several hours. And basically what we're trying to do, in the troughs, we've got phones so they're allowed to move at their own sort of naturally, so they can rotate, they can move around, and all the surfaces are basically abrading and scraping. I mean, just do that with the bag and see what happens to the bag after a little bit. It doesn't take a lot. Yeah.
Well, Brian's ready.
Switch on please, Brian.
There as well as calibration.
Absolutely.
I do apologise, gentlemen, but this is the only stage test we've had to do today. And this is really just for your information, really. Show you what we're doing. So you get this sort of low, and then we bring look around at the moment, John. So it's around the full profile, or it's just so it's full profile now. Around the 15 hertz, which is why we're working level and the speed drop.
I want to thank Nokia for giving me this opportunity to come along and tell everybody just how much work goes into producing a handset. We really had no idea. I obviously know that these testing departments, and even though there I am saying testing departments, I know these things exist. I just didn't know how much work goes into it and how thorough they are. I'm a big fan of the Nokia handsets. They're always very reliable. I can really see why they are. Now, 9 o'clock this morning, I had no clue. If you asked me about Nokia, I'd just say, yeah, very well made. Great handset. Now I can really say that with a heck of a lot of conviction and experience, having seen these handsets being burnt, torched, frozen, and the like. Really, really smart. I want to say a couple of words of thanks to Ray, to Kevin, and Robert. The team here have taken the time out. I know it's been very expensive for them, switching off and not showing us the N97, 98, and the like. Thank you very much, gents. Very good of you.
Mobile Industry Review, the only source that counts.